An American space scientist was boasting to his Russian counterpart at a conference that the US had spent years and many millions of dollars inventing a pen that would enable astronauts to write notes in the zero-gravity environment of a spacecraft, with a clever mechanism for pumping ink to the nib when gravity couldn't help, as it does on Earth. "Ah, yes," said the Russian thoughtfully. "That is certainly a problem, and your solution is very clever. But we use a pencil." This is a simple but powerful example of how an organization can waste time, money, and resources buying something it doesn't really need, or that costs far more than it should. In organizations, government departments, and businesses of all shapes and sizes all round the world, money is being lost, wasted, spent inappropriately, defrauded, or stolen. What is the cause of this epidemic? Let's just call it bad buying, because at its simplest, that's what it is. These issues are truly global, and the case studies in this audiobook reflect that. No industry or country is immune from bad buying. It exists in every nation in the world and in almost every organization. When Kentucky Fried Chicken runs out of chicken, to the horror of its customers, or a firm such as Skanska pays large sums of money to fraudsters through invoice misdirection, we can see the result of bad buying practices or processes. Even in Singapore, widely considered to be one of the least corrupt and most efficient governments in the world, you can find problems in this field. Singapore's Auditor General's report for 2018-19 identified government money wasted through multiple issues, including serious tendering process irregularities, poor bid evaluation techniques, a lack of control around contract changes, and so on. Almost every government around the world is guilty of similar failures. How much is spent on buying by organizations worldwide? That's not a number that's easy to find or calculate, but there was an estimate in 2012 that all the businesses in the world had a combined revenue of $64 trillion. Increase that by 20% to allow, conservatively, for growth and inflation since then, which gets us to $77 trillion. Let's say, conservatively, that 50% of that is used to buy from other organizations. That gives some $38 trillion of buying spend. It would take an economist to determine exactly what the effect would be if that expenditure could be executed more effectively and efficiently. But clearly, even a small saving of a couple of % on that huge number would bring major benefits to organizations and would improve the overall efficiency of the global economy. A recent estimate puts the total global public sector procurement spend at $13 trillion. A 5% improvement in the value obtained from this money would release another $650 billion every year. That is money that could be used by governments to alleviate hunger, cure diseases, or improve education in the developing world. And 5% is not unrealistic, given the scale of fraud and corruption in many countries, as well as the opportunities from improving conventional buying performance. In the UK, that percentage saving would mean the potential to double the defence budget, or increase total spending on education by 25%. In the private sector, no less than 69% of an average commercial business's revenue is spent on external suppliers. How this money is used has fascinating implications for the profitability of the company. Assume that the company has a revenue of $1 billion and makes a profit of $100 million, a 10% margin, and that 60% below the average of its revenue goes to suppliers.